Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. This is Taliesin McKnight, and today's subject is Saint Joseph Hoodoo spells. This is working with Saint Joseph according to Hoodoo tradition. And this video is a request. Someone is trying to sell a piece of property, and there is a very popular sort of work where people work with Saint Joseph to sell real estate. So today I'll talk a little bit about that, and I'll also go into various other ways that you can work with Saint Joseph according to Hoodoo or Conjure tradition. So today I'm going to go over how to work with him, how to set up an altar, and we will go over the whole thing, how to work with Saint Joseph to find employment, to get a job, to bring business, to help with finances, to work with Saint Joseph for all manner of causes or reasons to work with him. So whereas other people might make a video on one specific working, today we're going to try to go into the dynamics behind it and how this can be applied in different forms of working. And you can take this basic knowledge and apply it to working with other saints or to work for all kinds of different purposes. So as usual, we're going to try to go into the mechanics behind it and how this could be applied in different ways. So today we're going to talk about Saint Joseph in Hoodoo tradition. Now this is a blending of two traditions. Hoodoo is African American folk magic, and working with saints, these different forms of European Catholic elements obviously are imported from European traditions. Working Catholic folk magic is very ancient, very old, and the church authorities have been trying to stamp it out for the last 2,000 years. So I'm sure that some conservative Catholics may not approve of this video, but my job here is not to be for or against, but just to present these traditions in an unbiased manner, and for you to think for yourself and just sort of explore what these traditions are and how they work. So even though this is working with a Catholic saint, there are magical elements that are added. So in the traditional church, you work with a saint or whatever, and the saint prays for you or whatever. But there are two concepts that are combined here that certainly come from more magical traditions and spell work. And these two concepts, which you don't find in the official church per se, not like this, you have the concept of a link. Now, a magical link is something that connects your spell with a target. It connects you with the saint, and it connects what you're doing with your goal. So for example, a business card would be a link. So a link is a concept in magic. For example, if you're going to do a spell for somebody, you may get their hair, a photograph of them with their name and birth date written on it. This is a link with the target. So the concept of a link and an exchange or a transfer. This is another important concept of magic where you don't see the same emphasis in traditional Catholic religion. This is Catholic folk magic. An exchange means that there's a transaction that occurs. So when working with a saint, you may give food offerings. You may offer coins or whatever, offer flowers, whatever. And usually when the work is done, it's popular to spread the fame of the saint and to give some other form of offering. So the concept of exchange or transaction, give and take. So the magical link and the exchange, these two elements are the basis of this work and shows a very clear magical context to this. So who is Saint Joseph? And even more important, what is the saint? What is a saint, essentially? What is the nature of a saint? Someone from a traditional religious background, of course, a saint is someone that intercedes for you before the divine. And yet some people, more modern practitioners, seem to rationalize this and see it more as a center of focus. So whether you take the literal approach, that if you're working with St. Jude, St. Francis, whatever, that you're actually contacting this being, or if you take this other perspective, that it's more a center of focus. Either way, this works. So St. Joseph was the foster father of Jesus, the husband of Mary. He was a carpenter. And so St. Joseph is the patron saint of carpenters, of craftsmen, blue-collar workers. He is the patron saint of workers. And as such, he's often called upon for employment, getting a job, real estate sales, business success. So for financial things, people work with St. Joseph. And then people also work with him for a peaceful death and for other things like that. But today we're going to focus mainly on St. Joseph, the worker, the patron saint of workers. So he's used for employment, business success, and things like that. So, and as I said, unapologetically, this video is about Hoodoo, which is a magical tradition. So this is about discussing these folk practices and how they play out. So that's what this video is about. So the link and the exchange. So first of all, whenever you work with a saint of any kind, an altar. What is an altar? An altar is a point of focus. It is the creation of sacred space. So if you're going to work with Saint Joseph, what you'll need is an altar. And what would you put on your Saint Joseph altar? Ultimately, it'll be up to you. But one important thing to have is his image, a sacred image of Saint Joseph. Now this can be a small little statue that you can buy, or you could print off his holy card or buy his holy card on eBay or whatever, and you can put his holy card in a picture frame or whatever. So if you Google it, holy card St. Joseph, you can buy these online, get them mailed to you, or you can just print out his image or whatever, or you can purchase a statue. So what's really cool nowadays is with the internet, things that were people didn't have as much access to back in the day, now we have access to everything. So an image of St. Joseph. And an image serves as a link. It is a way to focus on the particular saint that you're working with. So the image of St. Joseph serves as the link with St. Joseph. So some people associate different colors with the saint. Some people associate white as a symbol of purity, and traditionally he holds the lily. Some people associate green for employment or brown. So there are different colors with St. Joseph. Now, when working with any kind of a spirit, when working with any kind of a saint, the basic idea is to create a link. And a magical link can be formed by having their name, their associated colors, days of the week, symbols, things that are associated with them. But for our purpose, an image, a sacred image, a holy card of St. Joseph will suffice. A glass of water is pretty popular. And there are different reasons given for this. Some people say that water refreshes your spirits or whatever. There are different theories as how the glass of water plays into this. I think that the glass of water is probably a carryover from voodoo tradition. Okay, so as a New Orleans tradition, the glass of water, you'll see that in voodoo when working with the Loa or working with your ancestors. So a glass of water, a candle, which you can use a novena candle, which also has his image on it, or if you're working with him for money or prosperity, then a green candle, because green is often associated with money. And then some flowers. White flowers are often associated with St. Joseph. Go to your local supermarket, get some flowers. In his iconography, he often is shown holding a lily, which is a symbol of purity. So this is just one basic outline on a St. Joseph altar. And of course you can tweak this as you want, but this is very popular. So an image, a glass of water, a candle, and some white flowers. So very basic, very simple. So basically you set up an altar to St. Joseph, and so the image serves as the link with the saint. And then you might want to add something that is a link to your goal. For example, if you're working with St. Joseph to bring in business, you may have your business cards. If you have some business cards, you may place those on the altar. You may, if you're looking for a job and you're working with St. Joseph to find employment, you might put some job applications on there. Or if you want a specific job, put that job application on the altar. You can write out a petition outlining your basic goal and what you want, and you can burn his novena candle on top of the petition. If you're trying to sell a house, you may have your real estate papers on the altar. Or, as we'll get into in a minute, you may have a little statue, and at the end of doing these prayers, you can bury the image in the yard of the house that you're trying to sell. So this is a basic outline of working with St. Joseph. The altar is the center of everything that we're talking about. Your altar is where you work with St. Joseph. So this is your altar. You have a little table, his image, glass of water, a novena candle or a green candle, and maybe some flowers. And this is where you will pray to St. Joseph. Now, what is a novena? Novena comes from the Latin word novum, which means 9. It's a prayer or a petition that is recited for 9 consecutive days. So when you're working with the saints, it's very popular to do a novena. So you go to the altar and you recite the prayers, talk to St. Joseph, tell him what you need, and you do this for 9 consecutive days. So Basically, you set up an altar, petition him for 9 days. And it's that simple, y'all. Set up an altar and petition him for 9 consecutive days. It's very basic, very simple. Now, how do you particularize this spell? Well, let's say that you want success in your business. Remember that magic is a symbolic representation of your desire. So if you want success in your business, if you have a little charcoal that you burn incense on, then you could sprinkle some cinnamon on it. Cinnamon is often associated with prosperity and money. So you just sprinkle some cinnamon on the charcoal and let it burn as a money incense. And as you pray to St. Joseph, put your business cards through this. Or if you're looking for a job, let the incense smoke get on your job applications as you say the prayer. Whatever the case may be. The person who asked me to make this video specifically asked me to make a video on real estate. Real estate. Now, to sell a house, this is the most popular spell with St. Joseph that you're going to find on the internet. You know, if you just Google St. Joseph real estate, you're going to find all these different things talking about burying his statue in the yard. Bury his statue in the yard, and then pray to him for a novena, and then you either leave the statue in the yard to bless the house, or more often, they say dig up the statue and take it to your new home. So burying a statue of St. Joseph in the yard and petition him to sell the house. This is a very common, very popular spell for working with St. Joseph for real estate. Now, a lot of people talk about burying the statue upside down. So burying the image of St. Joseph upside down. You can do what you want, but I personally find it a little bit disrespectful. I guess it's whatever works for you, but the tradition of burying the image upside down, to me, seems to go back to the popular Italian folk magic of trying to make the saints do what you want by making them uncomfortable. So, putting St. Jude's image, say you have a picture of St. Jude, putting him upside down as a way to pressure the saint to do what you want him to do. Or burying the image head down. Or, you know, Italian folk magic, St. Anthony taking the baby Jesus and not putting it back in his hands until he helps you find lost objects. Or, you know, whatever, popular Italian folk magic. You know, you reward the saints if they help you and you punish them if they don't. So, I personally think it's a little disrespectful to try to like pressure, but that's up to each person. Some people bury the statue of St. Joseph sideways. Some people do it right side up. If you want to do it upside down just because that's traditional, that's fine. But basically, the basic spell is to get an image, a statue of St. Joseph. You can get a little image, you know, a small little image. It doesn't have to be like this big. And what I would do is I would have this little statue on your altar, and then for 9 consecutive days, that's a novena, petition him, ask him to help you to sell your home. So this statue is on your altar each of the 9 days you petition him, and that's a way to sort of put this intention into the statue. Then, again, I talked about a link which connects things. Then you take that statue and bury it in your yard as a way to seal the deal or to connect your petition to the house physically in that way. So, have the statue on the altar, recite the novena 9 days in a row, take that little statue and go bury it in your yard. You can bury it in your backyard, your front yard. If you don't have a yard, you can bury it in a potted plant. And after the house sells, then you can get that image back out and take it to your new home and give it a place of honor. So a link, again, let's say that you're doing a love spell, you have that person's hair or fingernails. It is a link to the target. Or if I want success at my job, I'll have a business card or my manager, whatever. Or you have an item that belongs to someone. Or if you want success in finding a job, your job applications are a link with your desire. In this situation, burying the statue in the yard links your petition physically to the house that you're trying to sell. So that is a very popular way, is to petition him. What you do is you set up an altar, you recite your prayers, and then you just focus your mind, focus your intent on Saint Joseph, and just focus on your desire. Just focus on your goal. And you do this 9 days in a row. Now, I'm not saying that this is real or not, or I try to stay out, which a lot of people don't understand, my approach in my videos. I try to be unbiased and stay out of the picture and just present the information like a journalist or something. I try to be unbiased and just present traditions and information and try them out for yourself, and if it works for you, then great. And at any rate, I think as folk traditions, folklore, it's important to preserve these traditions, just to see where we came from and all of that. And yes, I do practice these things, and I do personally believe in this stuff, but I don't want to impose my opinion on you. I try to remain unbiased, okay? But yes, I do believe in this stuff, and I do practice. So, what else? Oh, one more thing, and this is a really good one. Again, I try not to just give. Most people, they try to just give out here's a simple spell you do, and they don't tell you what's behind it or the dynamics, because there's no reason for them to be there as a talking head. Because if you know how magic works, then you're not going to need them anymore. I don't just give out little doses to keep people watching my videos. I say, look, this is the whole theory behind it, and this is how you can apply it in different ways. Because the whole purpose is to provide information and people that are seeking that information. That's the whole point. So that's why I try to go from the dynamics behind it all, and then I show you particular ways that this works out. So you can kind of get a rough idea of the whole idea behind the traditions. So in this case, a link and an exchange. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So you create an altar. 9 days you petition Saint Joseph. If it's for real estate, you may have a little statue after the 9 days buried in your yard. Or for those 9 days, you may put your business card or job application through incense. Or just petition him for 9 days. So what do you do when it's done? The remains, it's traditional in Hoodoo to not throw them in the trash. The remains are often returned to the earth, either left at a crossroads. I usually don't do that just because I don't want to get a ticket for littering, because crossroads, I don't live out in the country, I live in the city, and also, I don't want cars to hit broken glass. I don't do the crossroads usually. You can leave them at a tree. Leave them at a crossroads. You know, the remaining wax, flowers, whatever. You can leave it at a crossroads, leave it at a tree, in a park, if you're in a city like me. You know, and you have to consider your local laws. You don't want to get in trouble for littering. But that's more traditional. Traditionally, you don't put them in the remains in a trash can. I guess because this is a sacred, holy thing, and symbolically we think of trash as gross, disgusting things we throw away, as unimportant, discarded. So I think that it's probably, that's why. But whatever the case may be, spell remains, generally in Hoodoo, are disposed of like in a tree or something. Okay? The exchange. So we already went over the link. Your business cards to your desire, the image to St. Joseph. It connects things. Now the exchange. That's the second element where this shows a clear magical aspect. Exchange is a transaction. You give me this and I give you this. It's an exchange. So this shows a very clear Hoodoo element. If St. Joseph grants you your desire, first of all, you offered him prayers, you offered him a glass of water, and some fresh flowers. So that's already sort of a payment in advance. But once he gives you your goal, you have to pay him back in a sense. This is an exchange of energy. The exchange concept is very ancient. You find it in many ancient religions, the concept of sacrifice or whatever. Now in Hoodoo tradition, working with the saints, often an exchange is first of all to spread the fame of the saint. With St. Jude, for example, when St. Jude comes through for you, it was popular, and still is, to write a little classified ad in the newspaper thanking St. Jude for coming through for you. Today with the internet, a lot of people write blogs. They may make a YouTube video thanking St. Jude or St. Francis. So in some way, if he comes through for you, St. Joseph, spread his fame. Either post a blog or somehow share with the world how he has come through for you. You might write a blog about it. You may make a little classified ad in the Thrifty Nickel or the local newspaper. I mean, you can just go online, pay some money, and put it in a classified ads, whatever. So spread the fame of the saint. And then you may take some money and give it to a charity. That's another option. Since he's the foster father of Jesus, you may give it to some kind of children's thing, whatever. You may make go back to the altar and give him thanks. Offer prayers, offer another candle, some incense, thank him for working for you, let him know that you're going to donate to charity and spread his fame, but that's a way of repayment. So, Catholic forms of folk magic that you see in Hoodoo, and that's it. Oh, one more thing. Now this is very important. Let's say that you want something a little bit more permanent. Let's say you want to build a connection with St. Joseph. You may buy his medal, buy a medal of St. Joseph to wear around your neck, and at his altar for those 9 days, you could ask him to bless this medal as a link to him. And this could work for any saint. It could be St. Jude, St. Francis, whatever. Cleanse it and ask St. Joseph or whoever you're working with to let this medal be a connection between you and him or her. And each day pray over it, whatever, at the altar. Then when you wear this around your neck, use this to connect with the saint. It could be Santísima Muerte, whatever. throughout the day, hold on to that necklace and recite a prayer, so that this acts as a physical link between you and the person you're working with. So that's just another consideration. So that is today's basic lesson on Hoodoo tradition, working with Saint Joseph for employment or whatever. Make an altar, 9 days, novena prayers. If you're doing real estate, bury a little statue in the yard. And then somehow, if he works for you, spread his name, share with others how he has worked for you, and show a little thanks. And that's basically it. So more will be coming out on Hoodoo, and also we'll be getting into esoteric astrology and tarot, and we're about to be going pretty deep into some stuff. So thank you for joining me, and see y'all next time. Have a great day, y'all.